Welcome all, Kevin the Movie Dealer here, and happy May the 4th. A little delayed, but since it's Star Wars week, I felt it was the perfect time to do what any nerdy YouTuber does. Make a video about the prequels. Now, this is not a video of me having a full critique on every movie and every moment of the prequels. In fact, I am a fan of them. I grew up with them, and Revenge of the Sith, I think, is the best Star Wars movie. And the world building, I think, shapes the Star Wars universe more than the original trilogy did. That being said, there's an element of the first two films I never understood in terms of George's direction. I understand the man did not want to make the same thing, and he wanted to expand the universe and tell different stories. I can respect that. But what confuses me is his direction for his actors. Yes, that's what I really want to talk about. The three lead characters of The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Specifically, Qui-Gon Jinn, Padme Amidala, and 19-year-old Anakin Skywalker. You know, since it's Star Wars week, I rewatched the 8 movies that aren't the sequels, the original trilogies, the prequels, Solo, and Rogue One. And you know what? Something really stood out to me when comparing the rest to the prequels. All the characters in those other movies, no matter how important they were, they all felt real. They all felt as if the actors were reacting as a normal human being would do. This, strangely enough, is not the case for the prequels, for a lot of the characters. Now, I'm not here to talk down Liam Neeson, Natalie Portman, and Hayden Christensen. They're all great actors, including Hayden. If you guys have not checked out Life as a House and Shattered Glass, I highly recommend watching it if you find it on streaming. They're both really good, and he's great in both. But I digress. This is about George's direction on how he wanted his characters to be portrayed. In Phantom Menace, specifically, it's really hard not to notice the lack of humanity in some of these characters. So let's start with Qui-Gon Jinn, the perfect Jedi, who is basically the lead of this whole movie. And I always respected that George decided to create an original character instead of having Anakin or Obi-Wan be the obvious leads, and then killing that lead character at the end of your story, which has never been done in a Star Wars movie prior. But this character has real issues with showing any kind of emotion. There's hardly any moments that Qui-Gon looks concerned or shows empathy or just any shred of human emotion. There's only one time that Qui-Gon changed the tone of his voice, and that's when the Jedi Council rejected Anakin to be trained. That was it. I understand creating a mentor-like character that's wise beyond his years, but when you compare Qui-Gon to old Obi-Wan Kenobi, you can't deny Obi-Wan had so much more charm and charisma. And yes, I know they are different characters, but when you have a character that comes across that they seem to always know what's the right thing to do, the performance seems to create a sense of realism and charm within the character, or else they'll seem dry or soulless. Then there's Padme Amidala, who I think is the biggest victim of George's direction. Padme is a 19-year-old queen of an entire planet that is being enslaved by the Trade Federation. And quite frankly, she's handling it quite well. I always think back to the scene when Padme is watching the hologram message of her people saying the death toll is catastrophic and that they must bow to their wishes. Padme is all by herself watching this video, and not one look of concern of any kind, or any kind of emotion, to be honest. You can't just say the queen is worried. You have to look it. Or another example, when she finds out that a 9-year-old boy is a slave, you would expect a girl who cares so much about people's well-being to show some sense of sadness towards a little boy, just like any other human being would do. Padme should have been the heart of this story. She is the character who has the most emotional character arc. A 14-year-old queen saving her people from slavery. To be honest, I can't help to think of Daenerys Targaryen and her story and thinking this is how this type of story is done right. And how great Padme could have been, but for some reason George just wanted to really limit that human emotion for some strange reason. It's clear George wanted Padme to be more than Luke and Leia's mother. But how are we supposed to care when we, the audience, are not really sure if she cares? There's so much you could do with the concept of this character. This young woman is going through an emotional journey, but she comes across like it's just another Tuesday for her. Or that she might be just suffering through depression, because those eyes kind of say it all. Alright, so let's dive in to the performance everyone loves to criticize. Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, specifically in Attack of the Clones. And you know, I'm actually not here to review Hayden's performance. I'm here to critique George's direction with the character's personality. Look, it is well known that George wanted a James Dean type actor to play the character. This is a direction that has always confused me, especially since he knew where he was taking this character. Anakin is a mass murderer in all 3 movies. He's killed quite a few people, but for some reason George wanted Anakin to come across as, quiet, shy, socially awkward, and not very confident in himself. It's a weird choice as your lead character who is going to slaughter hundreds of people, including children, and we're supposed to feel sorry for him. I also think the direction of his personality is why most people don't buy into his relationship with Padme. You sit there as an audience member thinking, despite him being such a hunk, what is there for her to fall in love with? He is a young man with serious emotional issues, who also probably blames himself for the death of his mother, and on top of that, slaughtered a village of people. Quite frankly, as a Star Wars fan, I much prefer Anakin in the Clone Wars animated series. That interpretation of the character is confident, charming, smart, and a true leader. You could understand why a woman like Padme would fall in love with this kind of a man, or why Yoda and Obi-Wan talk so highly about him as a Jedi in the original trilogy. It all fits with this interpretation. But with the movie's interpretation, he comes across as someone that you wouldn't even trust taking care of your dog, let alone being a military general. Look guys, I only wanted to make this video because I grew up loving these movies and respecting George's vision. But the older I get and the more I learn about filmmaking and acting and the writing process, the more these characters start to fade away in terms of being great. The older I get, the more flaws I see. And I don't like it. I wish I could just love all 6 of the movies as just one big story, but I can't. But who knows, maybe one day I will. I just miss the days when I just watched the first 6 Star Wars movies and I didn't even have a favorite movie. I just watched it because I loved them. Quite frankly, I didn't even know the prequels were hated until social media and the internet really became a thing. But tell me what you guys think. Am I wrong? Am I so off the rails on this one? I would love to hear your opinions. Comment below. Tell me what you guys think. Please leave a like and subscribe. Alright guys. I hope everyone has a great May the 4th week. I'll catch you next time. Ciao.